This is High School Challenge, the varsity sport of the mind. Now, here's your host, Jim Gaber.
Welcome everyone to High School Challenge. We have a very special game today. We're looking to place the second of our teams this season in our quarterfinal competition. We've got two teams ready to play, so let's meet our players right away, shall we? First, from Flushing High School, we have Michael Hunter. Michael is a senior in the marching band, Mu Alpha Theta, National Honor Society, percussion ensemble, wind ensemble, and a cappella choir. He hopes to attend Michigan State and study engineering, literature, and music. Next is Paul Cordy. Paul is a senior, National Honor Society, a member of the National Math Honor Society, listed in Who's Who among American high school students, honor roll member and an All-American Scholar, will attend Kettering University and major in electrical engineering. Alger Newberry III is the captain of the Flushing team. Alger's a senior, enjoys drama, reading, writing, coin collecting, and smithing pieces of chainmail armor. He's an honor roll member and a National Honor Society member. He's going to attend University of Michigan for a master's degree in literature and become a published novelist. And rounding out the Flushing team is Virginia Silvis. Virginia's a senior member of the marching band, wind ensemble, National Honor Society, orchestra, a cappella choir, flute choir, and has been listed for 3 years in Who's Who, 2 years on the National Honor Roll in the top 10 of her class and an All-American Scholar. Will attend CMU and major in meteorology and English and then go into meteorological research. Those are our players from Flushing High School. They will meet our team from Genesee High, and there we have Robin Simpson. Robin's a senior, a varsity cheerleader, Honor Society, Student Council, SAD, and Athletic Leadership Award on the Honor Roll, Senior of the Month and Student of the Month. Also a winner of the Drama Award. Plans on majoring in fine arts and minoring in drama at Michigan State. Next is Tricia Ferris. Tricia is a senior at Genesee, member of the National Honor Society, Student Council, Class Secretary, Science Olympiad, SAD, the Graduation Committee, and Spanish Club. Has won the Honors English Award and the Business Skills Award. Will be attending Grand Valley State to major in biology, eventually to become a high school teacher. Matt Dreyer is the captain of the Genesee team. Matt's a senior, president of Student Council, vice president of the class, a member of SAD, the National Honor Society, and Athletic Leadership, and will be playing baseball in the spring. He's a President's Award winner, a Senior of the Month in September, a Principal's Award winner and valedictorian, and plans on attending Saginaw Valley. And rounding out the Genesee team is Nick Nolan. Nick is a freshman, enjoys bowling and baseball, is a member of SAD, is on the honor roll and hopes to go to Michigan State University. Those are our players for today's game. Julie Pritchett of Genesee Intermediate School District is our judge, and we're ready to begin. Teams, here are your rules for round one. I'm about to ask you a series of questions worth 10 points apiece. The player buzzing first may answer when I recognize you. If you're correct, your team scores the 10 points. If you're incorrect, the other team gets a shot at the same question. Remember, you may interrupt me at any time I'm asking a question. No point penalties for incorrect answers. However, at that point, I'll repeat the entire question for the other team. Good luck. Here we go. Here are a few bizarre sentences. Pack my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs. Quick wafting zephyrs vex bold Jim. And waltz nymph for quick jigs vex Bud. What unusual characteristic? Paul, Flushing.
They each have all 26 letters in them.
That's the correct answer. Next toss-up. Once upon a time, in order to sail from New York to San Francisco, you had to go around the Horn. What horn? Nick, Genesee.
Cape Horn.
Cape Horn is correct. The esophagus, aorta, and inferior vena cava pass through this muscle that divides the chest from the abdomen. Alger, Flushing.
The diaphragm.
Diaphragm is correct. Jack Pumpkinhead, Tick-Tock the Machine Man, and Queen Ozma are all characters created by the man who created the Land of Oz. Alger, Flushing.
Baum.
Baum is correct. Mount Katahdin, Maine, is the northernmost point on this trail. The southernmost point is in Alabama. What is this long path? Paul, Flushing.
Appalachian Trail.
That's correct. Sodium chloride is common table salt. What kind of sugar is common table sugar? Paul Flushing.
Sucrose.
Sucrose is correct. It's the city where you can visit Jacobs Field, Gund Arena, Brown Stadium, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Matt, Genesee.
Cleveland.
Cleveland is correct. Next toss-up. It's weasel fur, but it's found in coats, stoles, and coronation robes. Paul Flushing.
Mink.
Mink is incorrect. It's weasel fur, but it's found in coats, stoles, and coronation robes. What kind of fur is it? Nick, Genesee.
Mongoose.
Also incorrect. Ermine is what I needed. Here's your next toss-up. In 1987, he became the first novelist in 50 years to have 2 books on the hardcover bestseller list at the same time. Who wrote Eyes of the Dragon and It? Virginia Flushing.
Stephen King.
That's correct. Next toss-up. 12,000 of the 70,000 words in this 1828 American Dictionary of the English Language had never appeared in a dictionary before. Who made himself the most famous name in Matt, Genesee?
Webster.
That's correct. It includes the tales of Sinbad the Sailor and Alger Flushing.
1001 Arabian Nights.
That's correct. Next toss-up. The sinking of this ship by a German submarine on May 7th, Paul Flushing.
Lusitania.
That's correct. The Earth has one, so does an electric coil, so does a lodestone. What kind of Paul Flushing.
Magnetic field.
That's correct. Next toss-up. Computer designers call it a microprocessor or an integrated circuit. Most of us use a more, Paul Flushing.
Chip.
Chip is correct. This poetic device is found in Shakespeare's line, quote, "Full fathom 5, thy father lot." Paul Flushing.
Alliteration.
That's correct. Your next toss-up. The capital of Abbasid Caliphate from the 7th to the 13th century. It straddles both banks of the Tigris River. What is this city? Alger Flushing.
Baghdad.
Baghdad is correct. Next toss-up. 70,000 people worked on it and 6,000 of them died. Nick, Genesee.
Panama Canal.
That's correct. He conquered half the known world, but after his death in 323 BC, his empire quickly, Paul Flushing.
Alexander the Great.
That's correct. Next toss-up. His burial chapel in Paris features a shepherd leading his flock while Alger Flushing.
Napoleon.
It's incorrect. His burial chapel in Paris features a shepherd leading his flock while struggling with a rabid dog. Symbols of his work with vaccines and germ theory. Who was this French chemist? Time's up. Louis Pasteur is the answer. Your next toss-up. In the late 1960s, the Pentagon developed ARPANET to allow researchers to share information. Paul Flushing.
Internet.
Internet is correct. In 1970, California became the most populous state in the Union. From 1820 to 1960, New York was the most populous state. Which southern state was the most populous? Matt, Genesee.
Virginia.
Virginia is correct. Next toss-up, teams. It's the only one of the 5 regular solids which has the same number of sides as it has letters in its name. Which one is it? Nick, Genesee.
Hexagon.
Hexagon's incorrect. Alger Flushing.
Decagon.
Also incorrect. Dodecahedron is the correct answer. Here, 12 sides, 12 letters. Here's your next toss-up. In 1899, the 1899 song for which he is best known was the first piece of sheet music in America to sell 1 million copies. Who composed the Maple Leaf Ray? Virginia Flushing.
Scott Joplin.
That's correct. In the 1860s, he was America's most famous Shakespearean actor. His career was destroyed when his brother John, Alger Flushing.
Booth.
Booth is correct. Your next toss-up teams. In 1810, Kamehameha became the first Alger Flushing.
Hawaii.
Thank you. That's correct. I had another one to go yet. He wrote more than 24 plays, but is best known for his novels Shamila, Joseph Andrews, and Tom Jones. Who is Alger Flushing?
Fielding.
Fielding is correct. Next toss-up. He was president of the Continental Congress from 1778 to 1779, helped negotiate the treaty that ended the, Matt, Genesee?
George Washington.
It's incorrect. He was president of the Continental Congress from 1778 to 1779, helped negotiate the treaty that ended the War of Independence. Alger Flushing.
Benjamin Franklin.
Also incorrect. The rest of the question, he would have been first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. John Jay was the answer. Here's your next toss-up. Psychologist Alfred Adler coined this two-word term to describe the sense that one is not as competent as others and incapable of Alger Flushing.
The inferiority complex.
That's correct. Louisville, Kentucky, Baltimore, Maryland, and Elmont, New York. And we'll never know because the round is over. They are the sites of the Triple Crown, but that question goes by the wayside as we end round one, and we see that Genesee trails, so that gives you the first crack at round two, our lightning round. About to give you a choice of 3 categories. Once you've selected, you have 60 seconds to answer up to 10 questions in that category. Remember, you may consult during this round, no need to buzz in. However, I will accept answers just from Matt, the team captain. If you don't know an answer, you must say pass before I move on. We'll give you 10 points for each correct answer, a 20-point bonus if all 10 are correct. Once your 60 seconds is up, Genesee, Flushing, you'll have 30 seconds to answer anything they missed, passed on, or didn't get to. Genesee, your choices are 4-letter words, in the AM, or potpourri scientific.
4-letter word.
Okay, here's your chance to use a few 4-letter words without anyone objecting. For 10 points each, provide the 4-letter words from the following clues. We begin with number 1, a state of confusion and disorder in an army cafeteria.
Chaos.
Incorrect. A medieval poet, Shakespeare, is one from Avon.
Poet.
Incorrect. It's a drop from a height during autumn.
Fall.
Correct. This Pixar fish was a movie star in the summer of 2003.
Nemo.
Correct. To jerk someone from north of the Mason-Dixon. To jerk on someone from north of the Mason-Dixon line.
Pass.
The chemical element was symbol Zn.
Zinc.
Correct. The fruit of the palm tree you might take out for dinner in a movie.
Lime.
Incorrect. It's the only South American country with 4 letters in its name.
Peru.
Correct. Eric Bana played Bruce Banner as this big green guy in a 2003 movie.
Hulk.
Correct. A tall tale you might spin. Time is up. 2, 4, 5 out of 10 are correct. Remember, Flushing, we're looking for 4-letter words. We're set for 30 seconds. First, a state of confusion and disorder in an army cafeteria.
Mess.
Correct. A medieval poet.
Bard.
That's correct. To jerk someone
Yank.
from... Yank is correct. The fruit of a palm tree you might take out for dinner.
Date.
Date is correct. A tall tale you might spin.
Yarn.
Correct. And now, Flushing, you may select between In the AM or Potpourri Scientific.
Potpourri scientific. Potpourri scientific.
Okay, here are a few questions about a variety of scientific people, places, and things. For 10 points each, think scientifically and identify them. We begin with number 1. Diamonds, coal, and graphite are all forms of what element?
Carbon.
Correct. What is Charles Darwin's most famous and important book?
Origin of species.
Correct. On the Celsius scale, what is the boiling point of water?
100 degrees.
That's correct. What liquid element is found in both a barometer and thermometer?
Mercury.
Correct. What geological event is measured by a seismograph?
Earthquake.
Correct. What organs in your body filter waste products from the blood?
Liver.
Incorrect. It's the bending of light waves as they pass from one medium to another.
Diffraction.
Correct. These are high wispy clouds 5 miles or more above the Earth.
Cirrus.
Correct. Before it becomes lava, this is the molten material
Magma.
inside. Say again?
Magma.
Correct. What is the science of sound, especially sound in an enclosed
Acoustics.
space?
Acoustics.
That's correct, and that is 9 out of 10. Genesee, you now have 30 seconds to come up with what organs in your body filter waste product from the blood?
Kidney.
Kidney is correct.
Yeah.
That's 10 on your side, and that's going to bring an end to our lightning round. We've got a lot of points to total up. We'll do that, but first let me introduce you to the coaches and alternates from Flushing High School. They are coached by Karen Slino and Kendra Hudson. Alternates include John Mikesell, Jacob Whitbrodt, Clinton Carlson, Mike Adams, Adam Harper, Matt Baer, and Eric Reed. We welcome all of you, and we remind you to stick around for some extra credit right after this. Welcome back, everyone. We're ready for some extra credit, but first I'd like you to meet the coach of our Genesee High School team today, Jan Mitchell. We welcome her and our team from Genesee, who is ready to play for some extra credit. Teams' rules in this extra credit round are the same as round one with the toss-ups. Difference here is that a correct answer earns you a shot at 10 points worth of extra credit for your team. On the extra credit questions, you may consult, and I'll take the answer from the team captain. But I remind you, consult on extra credit only and not on the toss-ups. At the end of the game, if the bell sounds while I'm in the middle of a toss-up extra credit cycle, we'll play through the entire cycle before the game is over. Here we go with your first toss-up. In the Troy system of weights, there are 12 to a pound. In the system we commonly use, there are 16 to a pound. Matt, Genesee.
Ounces.
Ounces is correct. Genesee, your extra credit. They first met in 1503 when they were both commissioned to create frescoes for the Council Hall in Florence. Who were these two Renaissance artists?
Da Vinci and Michelangelo.
That's correct. Next toss-up. His name is Philip McGraw, and he has a doctorate in psychology. Alger Flushing.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil is correct. Won't ask you how you know that. This is yours, Flushing. In Reading Jail by Reading Town, there is a pit of shame, and in it lies a wretched man, eaten by teeth of flame. What Irish poet wrote this Ballad of Reading Jail?
Keats.
It's incorrect. Oscar Wilde is the correct answer. Here's your next toss-up. 40% of the population of Uruguay lives in one city. What is it? Paul Flushing.
Montevideo.
That's correct.
Good job, dude.
Flushing, a region of Canada's Northwest Territories, a large Canadian island, and a large Canadian bay all share the same name. What is it?
Davin.
Incorrect. Baffin is what I needed. Okay, here's your next toss-up. The great catalog of the ships will be found in Book 2 of this epic poem. Where will you find this enumeration of the Greek fleet that went to Troy? Paul Flushing.
The Odyssey.
It's incorrect. Genesee. Genesee, Nick.
Iliad.
Iliad is correct.
Okay.
Your extra credit, Genesee. Paul Mueller won the 1948 Nobel Prize in Medicine for his work with this insecticide. But by 1973, it was banned in the United States. What is this deadly poison?
DEET.
Say again?
DEET.
I don't think I can accept that. I need DDT. Or dichlorodiphenyl trichloroethane. I would have accepted that as well. Okay, here's your next toss-up. Pongo and Perdita have only 14 adorable children, not 101 as in this Disney movie. Virginia Flushing.
101 Dalmatians.
That's correct. Flushing in 1799, William Henry Ireland published two plays, Henry II and Vortigern. Who did he claim had written them?
Shakespeare.
That's correct. Your next toss-up teams. In 1963, it was a Broadway musical, and the name became a metaphor for the Kennedy presidency. Alger Flushing.
Camelot.
Camelot is correct. Flushing, in 1912, he claimed that the scattered continents were the broken pieces of a former single supercontinent that he called Pangaea.
Pangea.
Pardon me?
Pangea.
I'm sorry. That's you
Correct.
gave me an answer before I finished, so I have to move on. I was looking for the geologist's name, and it was Alfred Wegener. Here's your next toss-up. Consider the following mathematical expression: 2 to the 7th power equals 128. Which number is the logarithm? Paul Flushing.
7.
That's correct. Your extra credit, Flushing. As you enter his presidential memorial, you pass the words, "This generation of Americans has a rendezvous with destiny." Which president first spoke those words?
Kennedy.
It's incorrect. Franklin Roosevelt is the answer. Here's your next toss-up. Mesquite is a popular wood for smoking fish, chicken, and other food. Spell mesquite. Paul Flushing.
Mesquite.
That's correct. Flushing, that line about the pursuit of happiness in the Declaration of Independence was taken from this British philosopher's 2 treatises on civil government. Who wrote it?
John Locke.
That's correct. Next toss-up teams. December 17th, 2003 marked the 100th anniversary of the most important thing, Paul Flushing.
Powered flight.
That's correct. Flushing, your extra credit. Quote, "I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it," end quote. What 18th century French philosopher is famous for this defense of free speech?
Voltaire.
That's correct. The next toss-up teams. Fish like flounder, halibut, sole, and turbot have a compressed body and both eyes on the same side of the head. What is the common name for these fish? Time is up. They're called flatfish. Next toss-up. This Canadian province borders 4 of the 5 Great Lakes, including the one that shares Nick, Genesee.
Ontario.
Ontario is correct. Genesee, fractions can make even simple mathematical operations more complicated. For example, with pencils, what's 2.5 times 2.5? Time's up. I'm sorry. 6 1/4 is the answer. Here's your next toss-up. These fat-soluble compounds include the sex hormones, cortisone, and cholesterol. Paul Flushing.
Steroids.
That's correct. Flushing, he is the only playwright to win an Academy Award, a Pulitzer Prize, and a Tony Award. Who is the Atlanta author of The Last Night of Ballyhoo and Driving Miss Daisy?
Tennessee Williams.
It's incorrect. Alfred Urey is the answer. Here's your next toss-up. His autobiography begins, quote, "I am not quite sure of the exact place or date of my birth, but I suspect I must have been born somewhere." Robin, Genesee.
David Copperfield.
It's incorrect. His autobiography begins, quote, "I am not quite sure of the exact place or date of my birth, but I suspect that I must have been born somewhere and at some time," end of quote. Who wrote Up From Slavery? Virginia Flushing.
Frederick Douglass.
It's incorrect. Booker T. Washington. Here's your next toss-up. The National Portrait Gallery and the National Gallery of Art are both part of the largest museum. Paul Flushing.
Smithsonian.
Smithsonian is correct. Flushing, this is yours. Passed in 1941, it allowed the president to send military supplies without payment to Britain before the United States entered World War II. What act was this?
The Good Neighbor Act.
It's incorrect. The correct answer is the Lend-Lease Act. Okay, here's your next. There won't be a next toss-up. There's the bell to mark the end of our game and the second of our quarterfinalists. Congratulations to Flushing as you move into that category. And to you, Genesee, congratulations on a game and a season well played, and good luck with the remainder of your academic competition throughout the year. We'll have more here for you in High School Challenge. I'm Jim Gaver. Have a good day. High School Challenge is a co-production of Michigan Television and the Genesee Intermediate School District.